Hello, well, I'll start again. My name is Merel Slotboom, and I am a Dutch kinesiologist, a professional kinesiologist, and I call myself the kinesiologist on the move because I am a kinesiologist and I'm living in a camper van, and I'm actually moving all the time between the south of Sweden, Netherlands, and where I'm right now in Bretagne in France. And I found a lovely quiet place here because we've been having a kind of hurricane. And I found a place that is a bit sheltered and I do have Wi-Fi. So I hope you can hear me well, can see me well. That's good to know. So I met Jose last year at Brain Gym 380 and the beautiful course with the 8 reflexes. And I use it weekly and mostly daily on myself. And that helps to keep me balanced and integrated. And what you'll find in my way of talking and my way of thinking and the way I will lead you through a 12-dimension balance of brain gym in 5 steps. So it's a nice protocol and we start with the pace. You'll see that I have this very interesting mind that combines everything. So this helps me to be creative in my work, when I work with clients, when I work on myself. I believe it's very important to work on ourselves, to keep ourselves balanced and to keep our consciousness very high. I'll get to this a little bit later. And for the people that come to my practice, but also the people that I have taught, so my students, I cannot emphasize enough for them to work on themselves. There's at least one of my students right here, and as he told Martijn, he told already, is that he works on himself every day, and that's something I encourage. That's something what I do, and I do believe that keeps me balanced in this life. Being a sensitive person, picking up many energies on the planet, sometimes it is hard to stay aligned with your soul and the divine and your mission on earth, and not be taken away with your focus on many things that are happening in the world. And well, I'll just dive right in because that's how I speak. So I hope you can follow me. How can I say this? No, we'll first do the pace, because when we're all in pace, then my talking goes easier and we're all on a kind of same level. So I hope you do all have some water. You know the pace, it's 4 steps. You're all you all know brain gym, and you all know your instructors much longer than I've been. So drink some water. And while we're doing this, and we rub the brain buttons, while we're doing this, I'd like to put the intention that all that we're doing here together will be for the highest good, the highest good. So not only our highest good, but the highest good. So that's on a divine level. And I like to work that way because we as little humans probably have no clue what the whole picture is about. We change hands and we rub and we have, ooh, here comes the calming down. That's nice. I just fell into my body and into my pelvic floor. Ooh, and I have feet now. This is nice. I have feet. I hope you have feet as well. I'm sitting down at a table, but please, if you want to be a little bit energetic, stand up and do your pace standing up. And make the movements as nice and fluid as you can, moving your shoulders, your hips, activating your body in 3D, all for the greatest good, because that's our intention. Very lovely. So now we've got our hearts racing a little, our breath up, and we'll do the hookups. So make your arms long, cross your wrists, clench your hands together, pull your hands in. I have my left hand in front, put your right, I put my right leg in front and you do the same, crossed as well. Breathe in through the nose with your tongue up, breathe out through the mouth with your tongue down, and close your eyes. Feel yourself calming down, feeling safe, relaxing in your body, connecting to your spirit, the divine, the greater good, the quantum field. And if you're ready, you can open your eyes, put your fingertips against each other, unfold your legs, do the same breathing and have a little look around. I mostly see green and hedges and trees and one other camper. Oh, so welcome. So now we're at the same page, I hope. And you'll see my talking will be more fluent after the pace. I, of course, had done it already, but it always helps to do it again and again and again, as you know. Consciousness. How to explain it? Because it's a multi-dimensional concept, and we are living in a 3D, a three-dimensional reality. And so it's hard to grasp. Consciousness for me is like the quantum field. It's like the great mind. It's the energy that we all come from, and that can be anything. And when our consciousness as humans is low, we are in fight, flight, freeze, fawn. And we are always looking around where danger is coming from. And then we are just little humans and we fall back to our programs. And our programs are running the show 98% of the day. And those programs were not even installed there by us. They were installed there by our parents in the first 7 years. Our parents, our school, our village, our city, our community, our church, our country. And as we grow up and become more conscious and we have filters, we can look at our lives and see things in our lives that we don't like, that we say, how did I attract this in my life when I absolutely don't believe this? And then, luckily for us, we have our muscle tests. We can find out what our subconsciousness is telling us and what we believe. Maybe we believe we are not lovable, or maybe we believe we're not worthy. And then we attract a shitty life with poverty and always having to struggle for money, for example, or for people to think of us that we're worthy. So I really love the work of Dr. David Hawkins. I don't know if you know it. He talks about the level of consciousness, or he used to talk about it. He died in 2012. But his work, all his videos and all his books are still available. So if you go to YouTube to Veritas Publishing, Veritas is truth in Latin. If you go to Veritas Publishing, you find all his beautiful videos with his wife and his presentations and the way he talks. And you can really see he's an enlightened person. And he does muscle testing to find out truth. And he does it on his wife. And he says a muscle test from a balanced person to a balanced person for the greatest good of all, for the highest good, is the tool of truth. So we are very fortunate people because we have access to this. And that is why I think you all are so enthusiastic about it, and me too. And I'd love for more people to be able to work with this tool, because as humans, especially when we're in this fight flight reality, we are not able to distinguish truth from falsehood. But when we raise our frequency and we feel at ease and we feel more safe, then we start raising our consciousness and we go to a higher level. Just for the people who maybe don't know the level of consciousness of Dr. David Hawkins, it looks like a pyramid, and the largest part is down, like in a pyramid, and the scale is from 0 to 1,000, but 1 point up is to the 10th up. So it's not linear, it's exponential, but he could not write that down. We would have too many zeros. So it's from 0 to 1,000, and the lower part is up to 200s, and up to 200s, we are all in survival mode. And that's what we see around. We see chaos, we see angry people, we see fearful people, we see war, we see awful things. And coming up, it starts with apathy, depression, anger. We go to when you're envious, for example. When you were in apathy and you go to anger, this is a wonderful thing. You actually just climbed 120 points. So that's fantastic. When you are divine love and you go down to anger, you just fell down 400 points. That's not such a good idea. So this lower part, the masses of the people are there. The people that are above 200, that are in acceptance and higher, they actually, with their consciousness, with their love, with their light, are actually carrying the weight of the world of the lower layer. And that's why I love doing this balance here. And I love that you are watching. And this is also because it's being recorded. I love for the people that will be watching later on, because you're included in this balance. Feel included. And the divine knows who will be watching this video. So you are totally included, even if I or Jose don't know that yet. So that is why we are going to do this special balance for raising our consciousness, because if we are very balanced and we work on ourselves daily, we help humanity lift itself up. So there's two ways, and you can do both. You can say, I don't like what is going on with the farmers in the world and how they're told that cows are bad because they fart. And that's not good for the climate change, things like that. And we can go there and have a leaf, I don't know what you call them, leaflets, or the things you keep up in the air. Banners, things. Yes, the banners up in the air, and you I call the pop-up so and shout that you want your right to eat meat, I don't know, or for farmers to have a good life. That's something you can do. There can be things you really don't like, for example, pharmaceutical things, and you can say, no, I refuse. That's also a way of protesting. I do not consent. I do not want this. So that's a way of giving a barrier, a frontier. And there's something we can do by raising our consciousness. And probably it goes fastest when we work with people that are already on that path, because we're already higher up and we can pull the load. And we can, with our lights and our love and our actions and our lives, inspire others to start doing the same thing and wake them up. So there are many good ways of going about this, and you have to feel for yourself. What is your way? For me, the way is to teach and to write. I will just show you two piles. These are my Dutch books. And these are my English books. And the last 14 days, I've actually been working on these three books, and they're called Deprogramming. It's a series. Heal yourself, heal others, and heal your potential. They will be soon, in like 2 or 3 weeks, available on my website on selfenizer.com. And why I do this, because these are practical tools for the people who don't know yet. I think you call them layman, people who don't know yet how to work with brain gym or anything, or muscle testing, how to get from a blocked situation, from a program that's not serving you, to a program that is serving you and that will help you to create your best possible life. So just to return a little bit to the level of consciousness, we had 200s and then 300s acceptance. 400 is the level of science. So we have, before we used to follow the church, now we're following the scientists because science says so. And scientists cannot look higher than their level of science because they have left love and God out of the equation. So for them, there's nothing higher than science. But for spiritual people, we also have love, and we have unconditional love, and we have joy, and we have light. So at 500, there's love. 540 is unconditional love. 600 is joy. 700 is light. So from 700 to 1000, we are enlightened. And it might be, or at least in my life, and you can feel for yourself, it might be a good idea to reach for that and move our way through life, through balances, through things we learn and experience, through people we meet, books we read, videos we see, to raise our consciousness. It's good for us. We're all on our way back home, because for me, life on Earth is discovering from all the lower energies what we don't want in life, to start looking at what we do want, because what you focus on, you get more of. And by doing that, we attract things into our lives to make our choices clearer and to follow our passion and do what we love. And well, I just heard your introduction all, and I believe we're all on the path of living our passion, at least with brain gym and kinesiology and helping others and teaching others. I'll have some water, maybe have a little bit yourself. I don't know if we will be working on the throat today. I never have throat problems. And yesterday evening, I started with this feeling. I spoke to Jose this morning. She had the same thing. I even have Dutch licorice, dropjes, lying here. They are 5 years old, but I think I can still eat them. So if my voice should collapse, I can have a dropje. So I think that's a little bit enough on consciousness. What I'd like to say, it's an idea I have also from listening to many people that I admire and I think are on a certain path that could be very interesting for us. They say there will be a kind of split of the earth in lower 3D reality for the people who are there and need to experience all the things you experience in a 3D world. This is interesting. I've slept so well here, and I've slept here before. And I've never ever seen, because I've never been sitting in this direction and looking at the camera, that above the roof of the house that I see there, there's a 4G tower. That's probably why my connection is so good. But I've been sleeping in radiation all night. Interesting. Talking about 3D world and being influenced in our energies. I'll try to focus here and not look there. And that's hard. Let me get my thread. Margaret, can you please turn off your sound?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's mute. Yeah, thank you. Interesting. You see that I'm all over the place. I've lost my focus. There's a little intervention here with Margaret. Thank you. And there's the 4G tower. So I think things happen for a reason. And I lost my thread here. What I was trying to say is about consciousness and choosing and living your passion. Oh, we're all on our way home. By experiencing what you don't want and like, you get to feel. Just a second. Jose, can you just make a little noise for a second?
Yes. Here you go.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And now you can turn it off again. I've got you in my camera now, and that keeps my focus better. Thanks so much. I'll get back. So we're all on our way home. By experiencing what we don't want, we get to explore what is in our program. And then we get to change it. For example, through Brain Gym or Touch for Health or stress release. I didn't hear anybody speak of stress release. In the Netherlands, when you study kinesiology, it's a mandatory part of our education. And I love working with it. Maybe we will, and if we will, I'll talk you through it. It's very easy. This is the easiest way of doing stress release. If you do muscle testing and you have one strong arm and a weak arm, you do brain integration. It looks a lot like the integration mode we do in a repatterning. And if you have two weak arms, you do eye rotations. So it's rather simple. It comes from Wayne Topping. He's a Kiwi. He's from New Zealand, but he lives in England now. And what else can I say? Yes, so we're all on our way home, and home for me is being as pure as we can be in alignment with our souls, living our missions, and hopefully ascending at the end to be again one with consciousness, with God consciousness, divine consciousness. So what I'd love to do with you, I made a handout. The handout, Jose, is it in the for the people to can they access it? It was like a Word document. Do you have it? I didn't hear you.
Did you send it to me?
Oh, yes, in an email. For the people who would, thank you. For the people who would like to have this Word document, please send me an email to Merel. That's my name. So it's MEREL. So it's underneath my name, I think. Yes. And then it's at, and then my company's name, it's Movimento. So it's movement in Italian. Movimento.nl. Just send it to me and I'll send you the Word document, because I made a protocol for the balance we're going to do right now. How much time do I still have, Jose, for the hour?
30 minutes.
Yes, I'm halfway in. That's what I thought. So thank you. We're going to do a 5-step balance. I'll have some more water. Please have some more water as well. Thank you. I'm connected to you guys, so that's why my mouth is dry. And for some other reasons. Thank you. We're going to do a 5-step balance. So normally in Brain Gym, we start with the pace. We did it already, so that's step 1. Then we're going to work on finding our true goal, a goal that's in pace. So it's positive, active, clear, and energetic. Then we're going to do pre-tests. And the pre-test now will be 12 dimensions. And I'll stand up and I'll show them to you. The 7 you know, I think, or at least the 3 you know from Brain Gym 101. Then the people who are instructors all did Brain Gym in depth. So they have the 7. We'll do them too. Then I went on a training in Damme in Germany with Renate Wennekes. Maybe you know her. And Paul was there and he was teaching us. and he taught me 2 other dimensions. And they can be seen as loose dimensions, or they can be put underneath the focus dimension and under the dimension of the immunitary system. I don't know what the English words are. And then we do my 3, I actually have 4, but 3 muscle test, key muscle tests to open the 3 dimensions I love to work with, because I love working on a spiritual level. And I do understand that we need to be balanced in 3D in order to be balanced in 7D. And then we need all that to be balanced in the energetical realm and the divine realm. You can also see it in the chakras. The lower 3 chakras, so the root, the procreative one, and the solar plexus, so red, orange, and yellow, they belong to the ego and the ego mind and life on earth. Then the heart one belongs to the soul. They say the heart is the seat of the soul. And the upper 3, so the throat, that's why. Jose, that's why. The throat belongs to, that's why. The throat belongs to Christ consciousness. So that's not only Jesus. He was born a very special, normal man, but he evolved through his life and he arrived above these 600 or 700s and he became enlightened. And that's how he reached Christ consciousness. So this is Christ consciousness. This is what I call Mother God, and this is what I call Father God. So you can see the levels of consciousness also in our chakras, and you'll find it also in the muscle tests. So maybe you want to stand up with me and we'll just do the 12 tests, so you have a little bit of an idea to start programming it also into your system.
Merel.
I'll have a little bit more. Yeah.
Merel, do you want me to share the document on the screen, or do you want to put it in the chat?
Oh, if it can be put in the chat and people can download it later?
Yes.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah, but do it for the people, download it after my talk,
Yes,
in the time
sure.
that we're having our Q&A.
So you
Just
don't
stay
need it
focused.
now? Okay, so okay.
No, I've just read it this morning. I know it by heart.
Okay then.
Otherwise, people start reading, and I'd like them to be.
I will
I'd
wait.
like them to.
I will wait.
Thank you so much. Let me see how much you can see. So please stand up and we'll do the first 3 muscle tests of Brain Gym 101. So we start with the robot and it looks like this, and we test on this. This is still an exercise. It's only about the muscles and the key muscles. It's not about if they are strong or not. Then we have, for the centering, we have the swimmer. It's the PMC from touch. Then we have the latissimus dorsi, like the penguin, and you push your arms away. Then we have the reversal. So it's the meridian brushing it up and down and up. Then we go to breathing. So that's the test for the diaphragm. And you test on your deltoideus. Then you have on the end point of the spleen meridian, we test for the immune system, self-regulation, both sides. And we have the crown. So this is 7 dimensions. This is for the plates of the head. Rhythm. Then come the 2 key muscles I learned from Paul Dennison, that he added on. One is the sartorius, and it's connected to our adrenals, and it has to do with adrenal fatigue. It's like being in how do you say this? When people sit like this with their legs crossed, how
Yoga
would you call
pose?
this?
Yoga pose?
Yeah, yoga pose. Yeah,
Okay.
good idea. So that's the pose you do with your leg, and then you straighten it by pushing in the knee and pulling down the foot. So you make it straight. And you do it on both sides. So that's the test. So that's the sartorius. And then we do the peroneus. It's the foot up and out, and we push it in, and it's from the bladder meridian. How to show this? I'll do it like this. Whoops. It's a good thing I've been doing my workouts in this bus, but it's not so big. Oh, it's something to be a kinesiologist on the move. This one is called a cranial fault, and it has to do with a lot of stress. He combined this to what he calls the Wally-Schmidt technique. Wally-Schmidt, he died 2-3 years ago, was a kinesiologist and an osteopath. And he said the whole chain of muscles we have in the back of our body helps us to pull back when there's danger. And it looks a bit like this. So I'm standing on my toes, and my calves are tense, and my head is pulled backwards. So when we feel, for example, when we have an injury, or when we have been to the dentist, or when we have done a mammogram, or when we have had children, or when we have been operated upon, the body was sedated or was not allowed to react to the fight-flight response. And it's still in our bodies, and it's keeping us in a lower energy in fight-flight. I have explained in my handout how to work with this technique. I don't know if it will be passing by today in our balance. So now we have 9 dimensions. Then I asked the divine, I believe I need to test for my soul, for darkness, and for the light. Can you please give me key muscles from Touch for Health to work with in Brain Gym? So I got the subscapularis, which is the heart muscle. And this is not strange. We just said the heart chakra is combined to the soul. So this one is for the soul. Yeah. Then for darkness, we work with the teres major. And it's 2 hands on the back, and you pull your arms to the front. You might say, yes, but Merel, that's the governor meridian, and that's yang, and that's actually the sun and the light. Yes, and look around and see where men or paternal systems have gone to the wrong side, have lost their light, and are now in darkness. So that's why I do think this muscle is very suitable. And for the light, we have the fascia lata from the large intestine. So that's your leg a little bit in front, a little bit to the side, and then push it to the middle line. So that's the 12 dimensions we work with. Now I'll sit down again. I hope you got them. Maybe you've written them down and you'll have the handout because it will be in the comments. Jose will give it to you. And otherwise you can email me later if you watch this video later on. I'll have some more water. Thank you. I don't still need the mummified dropjes. I still can do it. So we're now in number 3 of the protocol. We did the dimensions. If any of the dimensions go off, we can do the in-depth tests of any dimension if you know them. And if you don't know them, you can just feel, what does it mean if this muscle is off? You can feel in your body, what do I notice? Then in the learning program, learning part 4, we can use the 26. I will react to questions later on in the when I've done the training. Yes, so please write them down, and because this is what happens because I lose my thread. So we're in the 4th part of the balance, and here we have the 26 exercises of brain gym. If you're at home or you're working with a client or with yourself, you could also do the repatternings. You can see doing a 3D repatterning here with you guys is a bit challenging, so I'm leaving them out. But we can use all the material we have of kinesiology. You can go through your modes as a solution or a balancing way. And if you do know other techniques than kinesiology and they pop up in your mind or they are under a mode of yours, that can be a correction as well. Say you need to stand on one leg outside in the sun and breathe in the sunlight, and that's your correction. It's fine with me. Anything can balance anything. So that's 4. And then 5, we go back to the 12 dimensions and we check if they've become strong, if we had other things that need to be checked. And then 6, it's not an official point, but then we celebrate that we've made it and that we've balanced. So I hope this was clear, and we are now going to do the real balance. So let me check. We will do the pace again, and we'll do it shortly, just for yourself. You know the 4 steps: drink your water, rub your buttons, do a little cross crawl, and do the hookahs. I notice I'm adding the switching points of touch. So if you are feeling well and you did the pace and you have finished the hookups, welcome back to the balance. We did number 1 on our protocol, step 1. So the goal will be working on our consciousness. What you can do yourself is test for yourself on a scale from 0 to 1000 where you are at this moment. You don't have to share, you can just keep it in mind, and you'll see what this balance will do for you. I will test consciousness of humanity and the consciousness on this planet because I'm very curious what this balance will do. Yesterday I listened to a video and again I heard the sentence saying once 2 or more are gathered in my name, we have a big influence, and that can be a kinesiology balance, that can be a prayer, that can be holding hands and thinking of something lovely. And now we're doing this, so I think our effect on the world might be beautiful. That's what I hope. So our goal is we raise consciousness for the highest good. If I say this, we raise consciousness, I have 2 weak muscles, which is a good thing because then the goal has a lot of stress and then we have something to work on. I'd like to ask, this is the best goal we can work on. I've got a strong test here. It is in pace, it is active, it is clear, it is energetic. Okay, it is energetic. If I explain that if we raise our own consciousness, we will raise the consciousness of the planet. And when we raise in consciousness, we go from survival mode to acceptance, to love, to light, and being happy together and creating a beautiful earth. Is that enough to make it energetic? Yes, it is. So now we have a better idea of what we're doing here. Okay, lovely. So we did step 1, the pace. Step 2, we did goal on pace. Now we're at step 3, and I'm going to stand again. I already took off my body warmer because I'm warm because of all of the muscle testing. We're now going to test for our goal. We raise consciousness. Oh, I need to test first. The consciousness of humanity. I need to define this. Humanity, I must say humanity, because humanity doesn't only live on Earth. Humanity is bigger. There are humans also on other planets. So the level of consciousness of humanity at this moment is 100, 200. Oh, we start with 0, 0, 50. I'll start with 10. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 200. Okay, so we have 200 for humanity, and the consciousness on this planet is 100, 200. So it's the same. And may I test that? No, I just checked if I could test what the level of consciousness was in our group, but I may not test it. So you know for yourself, you've written it down, you know it, but I may not test it for us. So now we go to step 3, and we're going to do all those 12 muscle tests to find, and I'll be testing for me and for everybody that's watching now in the group, and for the people that will be watching this video in the future. Yes? So, because we're actually balancing us, we're not balancing the world, but our balancing will have an effect on others, I believe. So we are going to do first the 3 tests of Brain Gym 301. We raise consciousness. Laterality is okay. Centering is okay. Focus dimension is okay. So the first 3 are okay. Then we do the reversal. That's good. The breathing. That's good. The immune system. That's good. The cranial. The rhythm. Then we do the 2 of pole. So we had the sartorius for the adrenals. We raise consciousness. We raise consciousness. And I'll do the peroneus for the cranial folds. They're all strong. So we have 3 dimensions left. We'll do my first. It's about the soul. We raise consciousness. This one is off. This one is off. So our souls in this goal are out of balance. Then we go to darkness. 2 hands on the back. We do the teres major. We pull. We raise consciousness. This is strong. This goes off. So we also have darkness. And then I do the fascia lata. And the left one is off. So we have 2 off of the soul. We have 1 off of darkness. And we have 1 off of light. We will have to test this later on. Okay, so that's step 3. I hope you can all still follow. Let's have a little bit more water. I'd like to know which of the dimensions has the priority. So I'll test this one. And of course, you can use the priority mode, but I'll say it out loud. This one has the priority. No. This one has the priority. No. This one has the priority. So the light has priority. I have this week test, and I can say 26 brain gym exercises. It goes down. So I go through my modes. I'm going to test all my fingers now. And we get to stress release, emotion mode. So if I say the sentence, we raise consciousness, I have two weak muscles. So we can start by putting a hand on our head. Please all do it with me. Yes, you can do it like this, or you can do it like that, whatever feels best for you. This at least takes the tension of it, the stress of it. And feel for yourself what it means for you to raise consciousness in your life, in your situation, in your relationship, in your family, in your country. What does it mean if you would be working on raising consciousness? Okay, thank you. So this was the easy correction. Then I'll check again. I'll hold the emotion mode. We raise consciousness. I have one strong muscle and one going down. So we're actually going to do brain integration. If you like, you can put a hand on your head and open your legs a little. So the hand will be in pulse lock. So you can now let go of your head and you're actually doing stress release, and have your thumbs on your ring fingers. So we're in emotion mode, and you open your arms and you let your arms pull together like magnets. If it is very hard for your arms to come together, release the emotion mode and do it without. I'll do it again. So we are raising consciousness. You can say it out loud if you like. I'll do it again. We are raising consciousness. So if I now test, we are raising consciousness, I have a strong muscle. That's nice. I'll do the more mode. That's strong. Maybe we're done already. So I'll have a check with the 3 muscle groups. I'll stand up again. So we are raising consciousness. This is strong. This is strong. The soul says, yes, I'm in. Let's go for it. Let's raise consciousness. And now we do this test. We are raising consciousness. We are raising consciousness. It's strong. And we go to the fascia lata for the light. We are raising consciousness. We are, yay, it's strong, it's strong. So what we just did, we did a correction of stress release in number 4. So that's the learning menu. And in 5, we did the tests again. So we tested again the post activities. We tested again what we found off balance in step 3. And then we jumped for joy because now our goal is strong. So for us in the group and all the people that will be watching in the future, we raise consciousness is a strong test. I'll do it without a mode. And I'll test again for humanity. So that's not only exclusive to this planet, but also it's not in the universe, it's not in the multiverse, but it's outside the multiverse. That's something I've found. They were on 200, which is the point of courage. They just were going from being in survival mode to getting a soul. You actually get the soul, your connection to soul at 200. Below that, you are like an NPC, a non-playing character. So that's why it's so very important to get our consciousness up, because then we can make choices with our hearts and with our souls. So I love that. So they were at 200, humanity, and now it's more than 200. It's 210, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 300. And this is acceptance. Guys, girls, sorry. I'm very excited. And the energy on this planet went up from 200 to 10 to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 300 as well. So it's like a 50% raise of consciousness. I think we did a very lovely job. And being in the 300s all will change this planet completely. You cannot have war if you have a soul and if you love people, and you cannot, you don't want to fight. You want to have a beautiful life, and you want to be kind, and you would want to help each other. So things change. So thank you so much for being with me in this balance. Feel for yourself if your consciousness went up, do your testing, and feel how you feel differently. And I just want to tell you that what I'm doing now, the 12 dimensions, are in my book 12 Completion, together with 12 other systems of 12. Because 12 seems to be a thing in this world. That's why, Jose, I really didn't want to go to the 19th. I really wanted to do this presentation on the 12th of January. You understand now?
Yes.
Of course. Yes. So this is it. And if you have questions, you can